Hi YouTube, this is Darkon633. We're going to take a look at another Transformers review. This time we're going to take a look at the Transformers Titan Returns Leader Class Decepticon Sixshot along with this Titan Master Revolver. Now this is actually a really cool release since, one, it's amazing that Hasbro released a multi-changer, especially someone of this magnitude, since it did cost a lot to retool new parts at times, so it is really awesome to see Sixshot even get an update to begin with. It's one of the characters that I thought would never actually come to existence, at least via the official companies, and it's really nice to actually see this character get updated into Generations form. We're going to take a look at the box first. The box is in the standard Leader Class scale. Shows a picture of Sixshot with his revolver there. Says that it has 6 modes, and it's probably the only one that's going to have that many modes in the main toy line. And it has the bio on the back, and pretty much promotion what else is in the wave, and the fact that he transforms into 6 different forms. Now we're going to look at the main contents of the box. The main contents of the box includes 2 blasters, along with the Titan Master, and the standard character card that we've seen with the releases. As a comparison, since I actually do own the original G1 toy, fortunately, I've not been able to secure getting the other gun, so it just scales pretty decently between the two. This one's more of a smaller scale, while the G1 toy was more, what I could say possibly is a ultra class, because it is a larger style kind of figure, but that pretty much covers it in that mode. We'll now go on to articulation. Articulation includes a swivel at the head, and because of the little headpiece, you can kind of move it up, but that's not really towards articulation, but this is a bit of articulation there. It's not like a whole lot, so it's not much to really write about. You do need to kind of move these little panels out of the way so that you can actually get in there, but he does have joints to the shoulders, which get kind of hindered because of the wings in the back. They actually do peg in, unlike the original G1 toy where you just rotate them. This one does peg in. And it does have an inner joint as well, also for transformation as well. It does have outward joint and 360 swivel at the elbow with the single elbow joint. Now you can extend this outward if you want to have him a little bit more outward, but it does kind of look weird and breaks up the whole arm articulation, so it's best to just keep it in the standard form there. He does have a slight pivot in the hand due to transformation, but that's about it there. He has no waist articulation, but he has pretty decent hip articulation. You can move the hip panels here so that you can move them, since they are on ratchets, and they're very nice ratchets there. He does have swivels at the thighs, double joints at the knees, since it does have the joint there and the standard joint there. And its feet can pivot a bit due to transformation, same thing with the back heels. But in terms of a larger scale figure, I think this is pretty decent amount of articulation. Now, you can keep the head attached even in this mode. However, we're actually going to remove it, which is a little bit tricky since you do need to slide it upwards. But once you get a good grip, you will be able to remove the head. And now transform Revolver into his robot mode. And it's actually kind of interesting and ironic that this is based on Jack, a character that was from the Japanese Headmasters cartoon, where Sixshot actually mind tricked him into killing himself. So it's kind of a sad scene in my opinion. We're just going to put Revolver off to the side there and go on to his many transformations. It's best to kind of go towards the jet and then kind of turn it around, since the jet mode has the most in terms of difference between the transformations, and that also includes the Beast as well, which is kind of the last one we're going to look at. But anyways, to transform him, we're going to open up the panel here, put away the head, and you do actually need to keep these out for jet mode. These will actually collapse into the cavity later in the other modes, but we're just going to keep it out for jet mode. We're going to remove the guns, push away the hands, slide these pieces outward, and if we're going to anything else, it's actually still cool. I forgot to mention that these are actually stickers. These are actually pre-applied stickers, and not something that's actually you need to apply. So that is kind of interesting that the figure actually has those. But anyways, now continue with the transformation here. We're going to turn this around so it faces like this. We're going to pull this piece out. Turn the actual back pieces here. It's a little bit hard since it is made of a thinner plastic, so you have to be a little bit careful while turning these, and they're very tight at times. So now we're going to collapse the feet, peg these together, but first we're going to slide the entire hips outward so that they collapse inside like this, and these will actually peg over each other and they'll overlap. It's a little bit tricky to get them together, but once you do, it should snap into multiple locations, since it actually snaps in 3 locations. Here, here, and another one down here. But sometimes it doesn't like to peg all the way for me. We're going to slide these outward, and then slide the entire shoulders down and peg them on the sides there. And now, to finish off the jet itself, we're going to... This thing got stuck. Just put on the guns. You don't really need to use this for the transformation, but he does actually have them in the animation model from the Headmasters cartoon with the guns actually on the shoulders. The wing pieces. So we're going to plug them in. And now we have Sixshot in his jet mode. So that's pretty cool what we got here. So in this mode, what's actually really cool about this is that it does have the wheels if you wish to, so you can kind of roll them across the table if you wish to. But it does actually look like a pretty decent jet in general. I think it looks pretty well for a possibly Cybertronian style jet, slash maybe an Earth vehicle. Obviously, an Earth vehicle doesn't really look like this. Over here, which can be used in the other modes too, you can just plug in Time Masters, so you got that one. And we're just going to plug in an extra Time Master, since you don't really need any specific. We're just going to put in Clobber for the heck of it here, just to show how it looks like when 2 are attached there. So it's cool that this is one of the few that you can actually use multiples for a specific purpose like that. So that's cool that you can actually do that. I'm going to put away Revolver for now. And now I'll move on to the next form. Now the next easiest form to transform from this mode is actually the car mode, since you actually don't need to do that many extra steps in order to transform it. We're going to kind of keep this mostly the same, but we're just going to move these out so that we can collapse these pieces in. We're going to turn these pieces around again. Like I said, you're turning into robot mode, and they'll collapse inside. Then we're going to plug these back. And this is where we're going to collapse these panels in the back here. They'll actually slide into the little cavity on the sides there. And that's cool that it actually can do that, since the G1 toy wasn't able to really hide those little pieces. We're going to pull the wings like this. And you actually do need to pull the mouth of the beast mode out. I don't really know what this is supposed to be, but it is in the instructions and on the back of the box. So there we have the ever so strange looking car mode. You can just plug these guns up here if you wish. So you take the secondary pegs, since you can plug the larger pegs in, but it's a little easier to just plug in the side pegs. Now you have the car mode. Just to show how it looks like with the Titan Master again. Here is Revolver driving the car mode. And it just looks really strange. I don't really see this as a car mode, more like a kind of cart or something. It does have the same wheels as the other mode. But other than that, I guess it does look pretty good. And it's something that the G1 toy kind of looked like anyway. To turn it into its tank mode, what we're going to do is push this back down. It's going to almost look like this, but you do need to move a few components. We're going to move these pieces outward again to get inside, since this entire back piece is actually going to form the back cannon. We're going to open this up. So it looks like this. You just need to kind of move into the place. We're going to turn these around. So it looks like this. And then what we're going to do next is pull these pieces forward, pull back the wings, and then that's pretty much it for tank mode. Now, there are a few things I do not like about the tank mode is that there isn't a way to secure the actual cannon pieces since they just kind of stay up freely. I wish there was a way you can kind of peg these sides together, but unfortunately there isn't. And it just looks kind of annoying that it doesn't allow you to do that. It's probably better to just kind of slide these back in this mode, since now they won't be kind of flopping around in this mode. It still maintains the same wheels as the other modes. You can plug the guns onto the side. So we're just going to quickly peg the guns onto the side there. So it looks like this. And then what's cool is that I forgot to mention this in the other mode. You can actually take the Titan Master, and inside the Beast Mode's head you can allow the Titan Master to sit inside. Close the canopy. It's a little bit tricky, but once you get them in, it should be able to stay in. Probably goes in the opposite way, which is going to be kind of weird in this mode since he is looking in the opposite direction. Apologize, I've never actually used this canopy before. Trying to actually line it up. Probably uses that same method as some of the other Titan Masters do. Oh, I see. So there actually is a little cavity that you're supposed to slide the legs into, it looks like. And then you kind of need to lay it as flat as possible in order for the canopy to fully collapse. Probably goes in the opposite way. Apologize for this. Looks something like that, I guess. It's not the best kind of area to put in a Titan Master, but it's still cool that it's included. Next, what we're going to do is change it into its Beast Mode. Now, to turn into the Beast Mode, what we're going to do is open up the wing pieces here, unpeg them from the area there. We're going to take these back legs, and these will form the back legs of the Beast Mode. We're just going to pretty much free everything in order to get everything into place. Turn these around, and then, actually we turn it around this way, since these become the back feet, and these will become the front feet, so it looks like this. Just going to do the same for the other side. Okay, let's try to get this together. It's a little bit tricky to move things around, but there you go. So now we got the back legs fully assembled. To finish off the front legs, we're going to slide these down, and they're going to kind of go in a slant that is actually on the instructions on the box, which is kind of a weird choice in transformation, but it does kind of give it more of a angled look because of it. Everything's trying to get into place here. Okay, next what we're going to do is pull down the wing pieces here. Pull out the Beast Mode head. And what's cool is that the gun will actually form the Beast Mode's tail. From that, you just plug in the guns into the back using the secondary pegs there. So there you go. Now we got Sixshot in his Beast Mode. Now this Beast Mode actually is a lot more reminiscent of the G1 mode compared to some of the other modes. And you can use the same piece here to open and close the mouth. It's a little bit tricky to get in there, but it's still cool that it does have a feature to allow you to open and close the mouth. And from this mode, I guess you can just make a Titan Master just sit up here like that, if you wish to. Just as a little bonus, we are actually going to change it into its 7th mode that's only featured in the Japanese version of the Transformers trilogy, and that was from the Headmasters once again. It's called the Winged Wolf mode, if I remember correctly. There isn't really an official way to do this mode, but you do need to play around with the components quite a bit. So it looks like this. Just going to plug these in to make it a little bit better when you actually transform it. And we're just going to collapse the legs as if we're changing it to some of the other vehicle modes. Collapse them fully. Collapse the hands. These actually turn down, since they're actually in the animation model like that. And for the back legs, there isn't really an official way, since it's still not an official mode, but I like to keep the wheels on the top like that. There we go. For some reason, I was having a hard time actually putting it together like that. And these will go onto the wings like in jet mode. And now we got Sixshot in his technically unofficial Winged Wolf mode. So that's kind of a cool mode, I think. In this mode, obviously, it doesn't really matter what you do. You can make the wheels go down if you wish to and so on, but I guess it's cool that you could still do this with this particular mold. And then now we're actually going to move it on to the final mode. What Hasbro has done, they actually did a pretty clever job in actually making this mode, since it actually forms into something else completely officially by Hasbro. So we're just going to quickly change it into the mode first. You do need to make sure that the head lines up with these little holes on the side of the wings there. It's a little bit hard to get in there sometimes because of the angling, but once you get the sweet spot, it will be able to peg in. There we go. Same for the other side. And there we go. Gonna turn this around. Okay, so let's try and get this together. Plug this in together like this. You actually, from what I could tell, I think you do need to move this little piece outward. It's not really used in any of the other modes. Just gonna look at the box quickly to see if I'm missing something. Nope, doesn't look like I'm missing anything. Okay, so I did kind of mistransform it. What we're gonna do actually is pull the legs outward. So now we plug it in like this. And then what we're going to do is pull these little pieces and they'll form little gun turrets in the front. Just plug in the final pegs. Put them all together. So there we go. And now what we're going to do is take these guns, plug them together, and plug them up here. There we go. So now we got what Hasbro officially calls is the submarine mode. Now obviously that is not something that is canon to the particular character, but it was a cool way to kind of sneak in the alternate mode that Sixshot really became, and that is his infamous gun mode. So that's actually cool that they actually were able to incorporate this still in the design. It'll be best to just kind of slide in the little piece here in this mode, since I think Hasbro did a very clever job in making sure that this mode was still intact in the design, and I appreciate the effort that Hasbro did in order to release it. That's really awesome that they did that. Now, we're just going to quickly take a comparison with the G1 Sixshot within all of his modes as well. So in conclusion, I think this is a fantastic update to the character, and the fact that it can actually go through all the modes, including the gun mode, is actually something that's really awesome to see in this updated version of the character. It's quite amazing what Hasbro has done for the Titans Returns line to make characters that are pretty much near impossible at one point to thought that would be actually getting any updates. Now, that's not saying that the line doesn't have its own faults, but it's still cool to see that these kind of characters are making it into the main generation's line. I got this at BBTS along with the previously reviewed Star Wars figures, and I highly recommend picking this up, especially since it is still available from BBTS from what I could tell from this time of this recording, and it actually has popped out in several brick and mortar stores to this point. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hero Club and Hero Taku. Also check out my Twitter, DarkCon633, and don't forget to check down the other channels down below. Please check the little bell at the bottom of the screen in order to see my content go up as soon as possible. And I'm back with more Transformers reviews and more. But for now, I'll be seeing you later, YouTube. Bye.